Hi everyone. So I have a share for today. It's actually not quite a finished card. I'll explain why. But somebody had asked to see this stamp set and die set put together. Now, what makes this is not the stamp set. It's actually the die. The die is a 3D pop-up roller coaster. So if you know somebody who is a roller coaster fan, or are yourself, you're gonna like this. And it wasn't that bad to put together. I did watch a video from somebody on YouTube. They helped, but didn't help, because they didn't properly put this, or the way the measurements were done weren't proper, I think. So Mary and I, my friend Mary, hey Mary, we're crafting, and we figured out how to make this so that it folds flat. And I would not have known that had I not tried it first and then realized it doesn't fold flat. So I'm going to show you my finished card. And, well, not finished card, semi-finished. I haven't done the front with the sentiment or anything because I'm not sure when I'm going to use this, if it's going to be for a birthday or for some other occasion. So I wanted to hold off before I did the front. So this is some Stampin' Up! Designer Series paper and cardstock. And so the card does fold flat. It's pretty thick because, you know, it's a 3D pop-up card. And if you've ever made this is an A2 size card. Excuse me, if you've ever made one of these, you know that they come out thick anyway. When you open it, oops, upside down. It looks like this. And I have used some silver cardstock for the undercarriage of the roller coaster, and you can see that it has a 3D dimensional track on there. The flags pop out. Now the sky, I used a stencil for that and some of my ink, and then of course the rest of it is stamped images of the roller coaster, the cars, the sun. I popped up the clouds that are cut from the die. This is actually from a different set that I own, and so is the sentiment. So it says, "Life is beautiful, enjoy the ride," and then I heat embossed in silver the word "the ride" in this little curlicue. And I've also cut the grass with a scallop die, edger die, with 2 layers, popped up the grass on this layer here. But I thought it was a really fun card to make. And I have a kind of a process video for me putting this together after this. So if you're interested in how I did this, what my measurements were, some tips on how to crease and fold this, keep on watching because it's after this. But yeah, this was a really fun card. Like I said, it folds flat, so you could see that whole mechanism folding down. It doesn't go all the way flat because it has that thickness from the tape and everything. But none of the design gets messed up when it folds up. And unfortunately, the video that I watched, I don't think the individual knew that they were doing something wrong, because their cards weren't folding flat and they were having issues with wrinkling. So that's the card I did. This is actually the back. It's a really fun, I don't think anybody would suspect this was coming. So I do have some friends and family actually that do love roller coasters, so this may end up going to one of them on their birthday perhaps. So anyway, that's my finished card, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Oh, and keep watching if you want to see how this got put together. Thanks. Bye. Hey guys, so if you wanted to see how this is put together, and I scored and creased it, this is the die with the matching stamp set. And what you're supposed to do is, there's 2 notches that are actually cut into the die set on either side, as well as these little slits that you can mark through. So what you're supposed to do is, at 4 inches, well, you cut a piece of paper 5 inches by 8 inches long, and then you find the halfway point, which is 4. Now, you're not supposed to score it there. The lady that I was watching said you're supposed to score it there. You don't score it there. You just mark at the 4-inch line and line up the 2 notches here that I've actually marked in black with a Sharpie onto that line. And actually I put a pencil mark inside of this left hand side and lined it up, and then I die cut it. So after you die cut it, it's gonna look like this. And I've gone ahead and pushed up the, or actually trained the paper to do the pop-up. So you will have score lines along the bottom here. These are going to come towards you, so putting your finger inside helps do that. And then you have these curvy track lines. Now, one of the things that I saw was that if you use one of these tools here for making flowers, and you go along this dashed line, or line that's created from the die, along all of these lines, it will help you score the cardstock, so you can do your creasing. So, and then it takes a little bit to just, you know, sort of train the paper so that it will fold in the correct direction. So the bottom piece gets creased like this. It's a mountain fold, and then the back track is a valley, and the same for the top. And as you do that, you will get it to stand like this. You see that? Now, the thing where the video that I watched went wrong was she had said score it at 4 inches, which is improper because your card will not close properly if you do that. So once you've trained the paper to pop up like this, as you fold it closed, because these score lines were not there, right? As you fold it closed and flat, what I do is I take the folds and actually push the tracks, you know, flat so that it's in the proper positioning. And then I take this side and run my finger up and pinch it to where the score line needs to be. And this is where actually your card fold is going to be. So if you have an A2 size card base, you're going to line this up along the crease line of the card, okay? So that is just a tip on how to do this. Now when you do this and it's laying flat, you'll notice that on the edges do not line up, right? So you can cut that little strip off, and I'm going to do that because I know that when this goes inside of the card, it's going to have a gap at the edge in the A2 size card that is different from the other edge, and that would just bug me. So I'm actually going to cut that little strip off so that both sides are even. So when you open the card and you're looking at the card, the top edge that's, you know, in your base cardstock and the bottom edge have the same amount of gap in between. I'm going to continue to do this now. I did mark up this paper. I'm not going to erase it because I know I'm going to cover that part again, and I'll be back with the finished product. Hey guys, so I have die cut the second piece. It's actually out of the silver cardstock to do the under part of the track. And I just wanted to share something, a tip with you if you decide to order the set. So this is a piece that I cut from the track, and I'll just use this as an example. Here's the actual die cut. I've cut it away from the paper on the top and the bottom, and as you cut it on the bottom side of the track, you're going to want to cut it not right on the score line, but a little bit above that. And the reason I say that is because when you glue this onto the card, you want to make sure that it doesn't impede the crease that's on the bottom side. So along the bottom here, as you fold your card up, you don't want it to be too long. So I've cut a little bit away. It still lines up with the track underneath. And as you fold the card flat, it doesn't impede the card from folding, you know. So I wanted to share that tip with you, as well as when I'm doing it here, you can see this is the top piece of the track. I just take my scissors and cut a little bit away from where that dotted line is, which is actually the crease line for the track. So just a little tip. Hey guys, so I'm back. Before I decided to glue these pieces down, I wanted to do some stenciling with this MFT stencil that I have. It's called Mini Cloud Edges. And I don't know when it was released. I've had it for a little while now. I haven't used it. I also colored the flagpoles with one of my markers. This is a Tombow N65. And I went in and put a piece of paper underneath the flag while I colored the post so I wouldn't get any of the background or any of the other pieces that I didn't want to color up. I'm going to die cut the flag, so I'm not worried about those getting the ink that they don't need to show, because the die cut's going to cover the flag part. So I went ahead and stenciled and used my Altenew Caribbean Sky ink and this little finger dauber, because I felt like I could get more control with the stencil in between the different cloud layers. So you start with it laying flat, and then you will do the bottom, I guess the cloud layer that is closest to the roller coaster first, whichever one you want, and then you turn the stencil for the next layer so it looks different. And again, I did 3. So and I know I'm going to be cutting you know, the edge off of the card, so some of this may go away, but it's fine. And I'm ready to actually glue down the silver undercarriage of the roller coaster. And with that, I'm going to use my detail glue, the Scotch Quick Dry, with this little tip on here, and put that together. I'm not going to do that on camera because it will take me a while to fiddle with it and get it in the spot that I want it in. So I thought I'd show you that next. And then I'll be right back. Hey guys, so I have stamped out some of the pieces that I want to put on inside of my card. And what I do is I run the die a couple of times through, and on the back, with these smaller pieces, I've used some of the Glad Press and Seal before I pick the die up or the paper up off of the platform, and to make sure that it holds all these pieces in place, so that when I go to stamp, some of these little pieces are harder to stay in place. So keeping it within the paper but as you stamp it in will help you line it up better. I didn't do a good job on that one, but you can see I got the flags pretty easily. The other sun, I had a second one because, of course, as I said, I wanted to die cut multiple times. So I've got a couple of clouds to use. I used one of the suns, 4 of the coaster cars, and I wanted to show you how I've inserted the card into the base. So this bottom side is already adhered down, and I butted up against the crease line of the base of the card, and then I put some really strong adhesive on the back. The reason you see 2 different colors here is because I ran out of my regular Tombow adhesive and decided to use this other on the inside. So all I'm gonna do is really really close the card up instead of trying to bring it up to the base. I actually could do that. It probably won't make a difference, but I know it will lie flat when I do this, and hopefully it will land in the right place. The other thing I've already done is cut that little piece off of the top side. I just traced the bottom along the top, whichever one was shorter. I can't remember. I think it was the top that I cut off, and traced as it was closed with a piece of pencil, and then just cut it off with my trimmer. So I just closed the card up, and that seems to have put it in the correct spot, so that when you open the card, the roller coaster pops up. So here's all the little stamped images, and then you know, I know it will lie flat. It'll be a little bit thick to send in the mail, but now it lies flat with you know, the pop-up inside, and you can put it in an envelope. So I'm going to decorate this some more, and should be finished after that.